and Lee, we appreciate it. I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot more jokes for the rest of the campaign here. They just keep coming.
What? Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
What is Fox News? It's just a parade of propaganda, isn't it? It's just a festival of ignorance. What? Why 1 million people are dead in Iraq? Come on, this is ridiculous. What's the point of this? This is insane.
Well, I love
people
Fox
at home,
News.
Go outside. Go hug
Lee,
your children.
you should be more.
Well, Fox
you should be more worried.
Love your family. You know.
And you get all the news at Fox. You can get all the news you can at Fox News. All right, thanks,
And
guys.
I think, okay.
All right, that's it. All right, we're also talking about Captain Kirk this morning. And, hey, because it's Saturday morning, we're having some fun. Greg, you've got the cushiest job in the world.
Yeah, look who just beamed aboard right now. The ladies from the Starship Enterprise. Hello.
Yes.
Welcome.
How are you?
Okay, their friend Bones, you know him as Dr. McCoy, just wrote a new book on Captain Kirk and the way he was able to woo beautiful women like this.
Yeah, that's
It's all
news.
coming up. Stay with us, please.
Oh, my God, that was a perfect moment. There's so few perfect moments in life, and Lee made one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the brilliant comedy of Lee Camp, comedy hero, comedy legend.
Right, give it up for Rick and everyone you've seen. Let him hear it again. Fuck yeah. It's a fucking movement. Sound like a movement. Yeah. All right. It wasn't even hard-hitting Star Trek news. That's what pissed me off. You know, if you're gonna go hard-hitting news, then at least be hard-hitting Star Trek news. But I think there's something. Look, our media is shit. We all agree with that. Our media is fucking shit. And there's some things we can do. There's some things we can do. First of all, we need uglier reporters. All right, you know what I'm talking about. You don't see them often, but every once in a while, you turn on CNN, and you're like, oh, that guy fought for his job. Right? He knows his shit. He didn't get any favors. He didn't sleep his way to the top. That's why the BBC's so reliable. Really, that group of mongoloid walruses they have on there, fucking journalistic geniuses, you know? But what do we get? We get this douche squad of square-jawed dickheads and bright-eyed bimbos who didn't make the cut on the American Idol auditions, so now they're reading the results of the G8 summit to the entire country, even though they clearly think G8's a vitamin. That's what we fucking get. We do. We need better media. We need to take the shows everyone's watching anyway, like the bullshit shows, the fucking cupcake shows, and the Hitler shows, and Dancing with the Tards. Just take that shit and put, instead of subliminal marketing, instead of subliminal ads, put subliminal truth underneath it. People wouldn't even know they're fucking learning it. So you're sitting there watching your cupcake show, and underneath it is like, you know, kids make your clothes, or ExxonMobil owns your life, or why'd you ever stop drawing when you were younger? You were quite good and you enjoyed it, but you gave that up. Why? So you could file paperwork 12 hours a day, so you could afford some marble countertop in a kitchen? You don't even use the fucking thing. You don't even use the fucking countertop. I could understand this life choice if you were humping that countertop every day, if you were balls deep in that marble every day and twice on Sunday. Then this life choice would make sense. You know, just subtle stuff like that. We could slip it under. And people would learn their shit, you know? I think because we need the media, because they take the flood of information that is the internet and they narrow it down. Because the internet's too much. There's too much information out there. There's probably 100 blogs right now devoted to the geopolitical impact of Susan Boyle, right? And half of you thinks let people write what they want. But the other half of it is that flood of bloggeria that's spraying out of all of us like an unmanned fire hose is covering up important shit. You know? Think about it. Think about it. Think if Charles Darwin were here today instead of 150 years ago. Would anyone hear a fucking word he said? He'd probably type a blog about his theory of evolution. He'd get like 14 views and 4 comments. You know? 2 of the comments would be from his parents. One of them would be his mom, like, we're so proud of you, Chucky. And then the other one's his dad, like, how are you going to make money from this blog thing? You know, then the other 2 comments are like, I'm not the monkey, you're the monkey queer. If you like monkeys so much, why don't you suck a monkey ball sack? You know, and then his smarter readers are like, yeah, I'm passing on my genes all right, all over her tits, LOL, LOL. But let's say Darwin kept going. He got linked to a science website, so he gets 100 more views and 28 digs or thumbs up or Reddits or whatever the fuck it is, and people start talking. But right then, the evangelicals get wind of it because they can smell science. They can smell science. So they send their legions of Jesus freaks and Moses tards over to his site. And in one afternoon, he gets 198,000 thumbs down. And not one of them sees the irony of Darwin being sunk by thumbs. And yet he still keeps going. He cuts his theory of evolution down to 140 characters for Twitter. Little tweet-length nano tribe on the origins of mankind. And he throws it up there and people start talking. But right then the naked photos of Justin Bieber come out. And no one gives a shit about science when there's a naked 12-year-old on your screen. You know? And that would go for any great thinker, right? If Copernicus were here today, it would just be 100 comments like, yeah, the Earth circles the sun. Then how do you explain sunsets, moon queer? That'd be it. All right, this is for those of you not liking my other stuff. Have you ever noticed the words unicorn and acorn both mean one corn? Okay, we all back together now? All right, good. We also need to teach our kids real shit, you know? We need to teach them, like what do you learn when you're a little kid in school? You learn how to memorize a poem, then you learn how to make a piñata, and then you get a little older and you learn algebra. It's really shit I've never used in my entire adult life. I have never paid my bills with a poem. I've never bought a piece of pizza with a piñata. I've never sprayed a rapist in the face with algebra, you know? Not that a little algebra wouldn't throw a rapist off his game. It probably would. But I'm just saying, let's teach them real shit. Let's teach them how to see a news broadcast and scream bullshit at their TV and hurl it out a window. Let's teach them how to beat up a drunk guy in a bar, calling him racial epithets that don't even apply to them. You know? Like, fuck you, you fucking chink. I'm from Ecuador. You know? Let's show them how to grab that guy's mullet and poke him in the eyes, you know? Let's teach them real shit. Let's teach them that the real criminals in this world don't wear hoodies and ski masks. They wear Armani suits and Gucci neckties. They don't threaten you. They smile at you as they get you to sign a mortgage you can never fucking afford. You know, let's teach them that. Let's teach them how to have some sympathy, how to see a homeless person and give them some change or some heroin, right? Something useful, sympathy, rather than just teaching them, hey, in 5th grade gym class, throw the dodgeball at the kid with the circus-like obesity and cross eyes, because he always dodges the wrong direction. You know? Let's teach them real shit. And here's another idea. I know it's fucking insane. I know it's insane, but give it a second. What if we taught them American history that actually happened? I know it's crazy. But enough of this bullshit. Like, oh, the settlers met the natives and they shared squash and it was delicious. Look, when kids grow up being lied to, they grow up to become assholes. It's a proven fact. So let's tell them the truth. The settlers slaughtered the natives because the settlers had guns and Satan on their side. And the natives had dream catchers. You know, it's not easy to win a war when you're trying to stab someone with a peace pipe. Right? Let's tell them the truth for once. Let's tell them the forefathers had slaves and Columbus didn't discover jack shit and Texas was stolen and your mom's not really in Canada. She's in Cleveland banging the guy who used to mow our lawn. You know? Let's tell them the truth because bullshit does not make a good foundation for reality. You ever stood on a pile of shit? Very slippery. Very slippery. And here's something else. That dirty, unsettling history of America, it's fucking interesting. The kids would be riveted for the first time ever. They're sitting there like, whoa, Jefferson was fucking who? Woodrow Wilson was a white supremacist? Abraham Lincoln was a manic depressive? Jefferson was fucking who? Like, they would be hiding outside of class, under the bleachers, reading the steamy details of Ben Franklin banging a slew of French inventor groupies in his stagecoach after the Renaissance Man show, you know? And then they would think they could achieve something. They'd be like, hey, my heroes were fucked in the head. I'm fucked in the head. Maybe I can do something cool, you know? Maybe I could land somewhere with 20 million inhabitants and say I discovered it. It's exciting. It's exciting. But instead, we pump them full of pills while we're teaching them this awful shit. Because why? Because they can't sit still in a wooden... We use 90% of the world's Ritalin. 90%. Because they can't sit still in a wooden desk listening to an angry teacher spout whitewashed American history for 4 hours straight. None of us could do that. Not one of us can sit still for 12 minutes without checking our phones to see if someone we don't give a fuck about emailed us. Well, we're gonna fill them with pills? I mean, are we even sure what that shit does to their heads? The verdict is still out on Sweet and Low. We're not sure you can eat a pink packet every day without getting an ass tumor, but you're telling me the verdict is in on the shut the fuck up pills for 25 years? Thank God we fill them with pills. Thank God, because Lord knows how many little Van Goghs, Isaac Newtons, or John Lennons we could have had. But luckily, we drugged them up, zonked them out, beat the creativity out of them with a pharmaceutical baseball bat. You know? Why produce masterpieces when you can pop a few pills and make office PowerPoints the rest of your life? You know? I have a voodoo doll of myself at home that I treat quite well. But yeah, Ritalin, all those pills they fucking fill us with, and you know, everything's branded, right? Ritalin's a brand. Everything's branded. Your fucking kid's childhood is created by Ritalin now, and that's what's so wonderful about being here today is this is fucking real. Like, it's a real thing we're doing, and it's fucking magical, because everything is branded and merchandised, and your life-sustaining water is brought to you by Poland Springs. Your friendships are brought to you by Facebook now. Your love life is brought to you by eHarmony. Your sex life is brought to you by Trojan's new fiery icy genital gel. You got good times brought to you by Heineken, and bad times brought to you by too much Heineken. You got laughter brought to you by Tyler Perry's new Medea Goes to Fuck a Fiddle. Or whatever the fuck. You got war brought to you by Exxon, Boeing, and Blackwater, and eventually you get a deep depression brought to you by the realization that nothing in our lives is real. Not a fucking minute. But don't worry, there's pills that can fix that shit. They're brought to you by Prozac. That's what our news sells us. It sells us fear, and then when everybody's brains start going, holy fuck, then they go, here are the pills that fix the holy fuck. This will do it. Just smother that holy fuck. But that's a useful voice. That voice that says shit's fucked up is useful, And look, we're here because we're using that anger we have about society to do something good and something useful and really create a better world. But the powers that be generally take that anger, which is in most of America right now, and they angle it towards other shit. It's like, you're pissed about losing your job, hate the gays, hate the immigrants, hate the fucking teachers unions. And that's why this is so great, Gay marriage, I mean, what a fucking stupid fight. Gay marriage doesn't matter. What matters, gay marriage is not a problem. The problem is straight couples getting married and having 78 kids. If you want to get married, get married. But if you want to have a kid over like number 2 or 3, I think it should be voted on by the rest of us in a case-by-case basis. So, if you want to fire 48 kids into this world out of your semi-automatic assault vagina, they better be quality people. They better be top of the line, right? We don't need any more douchebags, numbnuts, dipshits, ass clowns, jerk-offs, cunts, dickheads, and dingleberries. Those positions are filled. Thanks for applying. Try down the street at the Applebee's. There's no point in giving birth to a walkie-talkie in an iPhone world, right? That's what they get us angry about, that bullshit, That's what it is. And immigration, I was just in Virginia, my home state, Virginia. I was arguing with a cousin. He's like, they're stealing our jobs. They're stealing our jobs. First of all, I don't think they are. But even if they are, you have to also go after the fat white guy that's hiring them. You can't just go after the color you don't like. Do a little research. You think that just because there's a handicapped person greeting you at the front door of Walmart that everything's peaches and cream in the back room? That handicapped person at the front door of Walmart is the Christmas wreath on the pedophile's home. It's just there to make you think everything's cool. everything's all right, you know? Whenever I'm on a bus, I like to wear water wings, you know, floaties, because I like to sit alone. Really, so they channel their anger against bullshit. I mean, watching the Tea Party is amazing. It's amazing to see a politician stand in front of thousands of people and be like, if elected, I will make sure you don't have health care. And they're like, yay! Bet the other guy can't promise me that. I mean, look, bullshit and propaganda are everywhere around the world, but there's certain areas of the U.S. that are so good at believing this shit. There's certain areas that still believe Saddam Hussein caused 9/11 and that President Obama's actually a Kenyan and President Bush was actually elected, you know, and and not just that Jesus is the Son of God, which, you know, if that's your religion, fine, but also that he's white and Jewish, and white and Christian and a good freedman capitalist, you know? These are the type of people where if you told them Jesus was a dark-skinned hippie Jew with no money, they would punch you in the face and run away screaming like you just told them there was a law against having sex with animals, you know? They have to believe Jesus was white, right? Because God made man in his image. So if Jesus wasn't white, that means God's not white. And if God's not white, oh, fuck. White people are in for some medieval style payback. Talking gremlins on our faces and scorpions in our asses. Nothing to watch on TV but the Winter Olympic cross-country skiing. And nothing to listen to but Kesha, you know? Not even over speakers. She's in the room. She's in the room for eternity. She is. And look, I'm not going to tear apart a religion. I'm really not. You know, if you want to believe in God or Allah or J.K. Rowling or whoever your God may be, that's fine. But what, you know what? I view people who are religious as having a cock piercing. It makes them feel better about themselves. They like it. They like the way it changed their life. They like the community they're in of other people with cock rings. They probably have a great relationship with someone else who enjoys a good game of genital dress up now and again. And I'm not going to tear down any of that. I'm not going to tell you to take your cock ring out. Well, okay, there was one time when I was painting a penis and I needed it to appear pristine. But other than that, I would not tell you to take your cock ring out. My problem, though, is that when they start shoving it in your face, you know, like, look at my cock ring. Look at it. Look at it. Why don't you have one? Why don't you have one? This is the way we're supposed to live. This is how we're supposed to live. This is the way it's supposed to be. I think people without cock rings should be ridiculed and fucking ostracized. What are you doing? Why don't you have one? Hey, let's talk about mine a little longer. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. I lived my life by a book that was written by an ancient cock ring over 2,000 years ago. Look at it. Look at it. How about no, all right? How about you put that shit away? Put your religion back in your pants, all right? Speak to me like a human being, and then we'll have this discussion. You know? Balloon animals are a great way to teach children that things they love dearly may spontaneously explode. So yeah, I mean, we gotta stand up against all this shit. And you know, in London, I was over in the UK during that, the London riots, for a minute, it looked like it was about standing up against social injustice, you know? The fucking young people stood up because police had killed a man for no reason. But then it quickly segued, it quickly moved on. It went from, you know, against social injustice for bullshit into free TVs, you know? That's where it went because materialism is so fucking deep in us now. It's like freedom, Nikes. Like we can't fucking keep our eye on the goal, you know? But let's keep in mind that when desperate young people stand up and burn buildings and steal shit, they're rightly called criminals and we want them arrested. But when fucking millionaires loot the global economy, set houses on fire by way of foreclosure, cover their faces with shell companies, we call them titans of industry, you know? We tell our kids to be like them. We name colleges after them and erect a bronze statue. And once a month, some poor minimum wage guy has to polish the ass crack of that statue. And that's when the millionaire knew he won the fucking game. That's when it is, But there's little ways to stand up, Like if your job steals your health care, steal their staplers. Just steal their fucking staplers. Yeah, I might not be able to get the liver transplant I need, but good luck of fixing 2 pieces of paper together, you twat lickers. Right? Just little shit. Fucking streak through a board meeting. Slip a photo of your taint into the PowerPoint presentation. They're not gonna know whose taint it is. Just little shit. Fucking, if you work for one of the franchise chain restaurants, I understand you need a job, but if you work for one of them that have homogenized and sodomized our culture, just give shit away for free. Just give shit away for free. And then if the manager's like, what's going on? Be like, oh, Table 5 didn't like their trademark chicken pot pie-a-rooney, so I gave them a free cheesecake-a-rooney. You don't owe them anything. Why? Because they stopped calling you waiters and started calling you associates or friends of the family or franchise cuddle bunnies. It's too bad the slave owners didn't know that trick 200 years ago. Hey, we're going to stop calling you slaves and start calling you friends of the plantation or associates. Another thing you can do, take your family on a vacation to the oil-covered coast of the Gulf of Mexico. Take a bunch of Christmas card photos, send one to the head of BP and write, Happy Hanukkah. This oil's lasted more than 8 days. It's a miracle, right? Just little shit to fight back. Just to take your money out of the big banks that screwed our economy, put it in a little bank, put it in a milk carton, and if you want to feel like it's in a big bank, every time you take money out of the milk carton, flush $1.50 down the toilet and smack your grandmother. Also, go into one of the big banks and say you want to open a business account. Then when you're meeting with them in that little office, just slowly start taking a dump in your pants. Never mention it. Maintain eye contact. Just let the smell fill the entire place. If they want to shit on us, then it's going to come right back at them. Just be a thorn in their side. Fucking wrenching the gears, a herpes sore on their lips. Yeah, it might not kill them, but a million herpes sores will make them rethink who they're fucking. Finally, I just think we got to think outside the box to fix this shit, which I think the Zeitgeist movement is doing. We got to think outside the box, And every once in a while, you'll see someone who's really thinking outside. Like they're living in a different world in their heads out on the streets. And we make fun of them or you ignore them. But they're giving you a gift. They're showing you how far outside the box someone can think. I was on the subway with a guy. He had one shoe on his foot and 3 hats on his head. He hadn't shaved his beard in like 4 years, but he managed to shave his eyebrows off. Fresh that morn. He was drinking what appeared to be a strawberry chicken nugget milkshake. And the strangest part was he had on a t-shirt that said no fat chicks. But you know what? That guy's unique and unusual. He's different. He's original. He's marching to his own drummer in his head, and that drummer's on crack. And if I were forced to make the choice, I'd rather be that guy than one of the millions of apathetic Abercrombie-clad douchebags who don't have a single unique thought in their entire empty, echoing skulls and just go around contributing willfully to this mindscape of mediocrity. I'd rather be the guy standing in line at the grocery store in pajama pants and hiking boots trying to mail a dead squirrel with a 44-cent stamp on its forehead when it clearly requires $1.10. I'd rather be that guy. I've been Lee Camp. Thank you guys. You're amazing.